it's cold, we bite the top of our zips, pull it out with our teeth till it covers our lips. Exhale, central heating for the weather beaten. No feet are beating the street and stand by us and we're waiting. Walking these streets with that distant stare. No one likes us but we don't care. Maybe our kind don't fit round here. Our minds find conflict round here. See, we choose to cruise a route that ain't paved with gold. So our shoes don't slip, they stick and grip this road. Our tools are ink slicks that we engrave and mould. For an end goal you maybe can't spend or fold. We won't settle for unsought careers or 40 years of salty tears. Like a band of mates.
Welcome to Cascadia Hockey. Little Scroobius Pip from the album
Distraction
Pieces. I wanted to say Disaster Piece. I'm like, that's Slipknot.
Yeah.
Well, Distraction Pieces. That line, no one likes us, but we don't care.
It's perfect.
They just don't like our kind around here. Like, I was like, that's us.
That was exactly why I picked it.
Yeah.
I remember when it played the second time, like, that's why I picked that song.
Yeah, I was feeling that. Yeah. Pretty good. Welcome to Cascadia Hockey. I am your host with the least. My name is Corey Gaston. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. We're hoping for a nip in the air, get the fall feeling, but fuck no, that's not happening. We are ready for fall.
Yes.
And ready for hockey.
Yes.
With me is now always our founder, our leader, master misanthrope, buried pucker, one Mr. Aaron Piper.
Yes, sir. How are you this morning?
I am well.
Kids are in school?
Fucking A.
Yes.
I'm happy to have them gone.
Yes.
You know what's funny is we're walking out of the school and the wife looks at me and she goes, you remember just a couple of years ago when I just cried and cried and cried? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, nah, I just want to go take a nap. I don't even care. So happy. I'm so happy. With us now, our newest trainee in the crease.
He's the 16-year-old of the group now.
Yeah. Rookie season. Welcome, Derek Schoenrock.
Thanks, guys.
Don't call me Deffrey.
Don't call me Deffrey. Call me regular guy, but don't call me Deffrey.
DJ Dazzle Def.
Hey, whatever, man. I've been called worse.
He's the DJ. I'm the rapper.
I do want to announce real quick that our boy Kyle did arrive safely to Vegas.
Nice.
Yeah, he's down there now. So
it's probably hot as fuck there too.
Oh yeah, it's got to be. So
you thought we were kidding, man? It's just weather. That's all we talk about.
He lost all of his money in the first 3 hours.
Yeah, he's living in an alley now. He had a place, but he gave it up. So.
He's standing on a corner with both pockets out like the Monopoly guy.
Well, I think he thought he was going to get a room comped.
He was pumping that Players Club card.
Yeah, just shooting for it.
For free steak dinner.
They find him in front of the doors at the T-Mobile Arena down there. I'm ready for work. Did you sleep here all night? Yes, sir. I'm so ready for work.
Can I get a locker?
There's showers in this place.
Already mortgaged my apartment, so I had to sublet my apartment.
We love you, Kyle.
Yeah, we miss you, homie. But Derek's ready to step up and fill in and give us the flushing out of the 3-man group.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'll be the level head of the group.
Well, I know
the 3 amigos, are you our Martin Short?
Yeah, I'm the yeah. Nah.
Very underrated character in that movie.
Oh, very underrated movie at this point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
People don't remember it for
people
brilliance.
If anyone is still listening, they're like, what the fuck is the 3 amigos?
What? Isn't that Mexican restaurant down the street?
No.
That's Trace Margaritas.
Trace Margaritas, yeah. That's right.
We should go to lunch there after.
Fucking
yeah.
The reason Derek does like 17 different podcasts with Corey.
Two.
Okay, 2. So
3 now.
3 now.
This is the 3rd.
Yeah. Okay.
This is your Trace Margarita. No, and I knew, I specifically knew that Derek at least had an interest in the game. I know your friends, like Westy's a friend,
sure,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. You've been around it. You've been around the Americans for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not as much into the sport as you have been or want to be, but I was like, this guy knows what he's doing. He's comfortable on the microphone. So, Derek, why don't you tell the people what exactly is your background with the sport?
Hi, everybody. No.
He's like, I saw the Mighty Ducks too.
Wayne's World.
I fear change. No, so I grew up in the small town of Burbank here, just outside of the Tri-Cities. Hockey was. I'm from the generation that hockey wasn't a thing. Like
Right.
it wasn't available to me as a kid. If it had been, I probably would have played it. I was an athlete growing up. I was an average athlete. I'm short. I was fast. So, I played football. I played baseball. And I would say I was average. Played on some competitive teams and stuff. So sports, all sports have been kind of one of my things.
Yeah, you're a sports ball guy.
Yeah, I followed them all. But, young, growing up, until the Americans came here, hockey was a thing that was on TV like maybe twice a year.
Yeah.
It just wasn't available to us. It
Yeah.
wasn't a thing that we had out here. It was very foreign. In 1988, when the team came, there was a huge buzz about it. I was in the building for the very first game, and we went the first probably 4 or 5 seasons. I mean, we went a lot. Like,
Yeah.
there was finally something to do in the Tri-Cities that
Sure.
wasn't, so it was fun, and I got to learn a little bit about it, but not a lot. So for the rest of my life, I guess I've been, I would say, a casual fan.
Sure.
I understand the sport. I think hockey and baseball are probably two of the purest sports out there as far as the level of talent it takes to play. And I'm not disparaging any other sport. I love football. I love basketball. I love golf. I love all the sports. But I'm saying the amount of strategy and stuff that goes on in baseball and hockey, they're kind of similar. It's kind of like a chess match.
Yeah.
To me. So they're very cerebral games that people don't. The average person might not know that hockey. Oh, they're just skating around and trying to shoot the thing and the thing, but it's a very cerebral game. The way you set plays up and stuff like that. So it's always been very interesting. But again, it just wasn't very accessible to us until now. I mean, there's youth leagues and stuff.
Sure.
So about I don't know. I think my son was 4. And he was like, I want to play hockey. So for about 5 years, we were in the Junior Americans, league, the youth hockey league, and definitely got an education with that. That was a ton of fun. So, we've been around it, and I've slowly been getting back into the sport. But I would say I'm still more of a casual fan, but I know the sport. I love the sport. I understand it. So that's why I think I'll be a good addition here is I'll kind of give you the casual fans, perspective.
So here's the thing is I know you. We
Yeah, we basically grew up together across the river.
One of my best friends in the whole world. I don't know who your team is.
Okay, so that's another thing.
Not really a rooting interest right now?
Well, we didn't have a team.
Yeah.
We got no team. We're about to have a team.
So are you just saving up to...
That's probably who I'll gravitate to. But no, I will tell you. So I have some East Coast ties.
Yeah.
Grew up on South 29th Street in South Philadelphia.
Do I have a fellow Flyers fan here?
When Rocky and Adrian are on the stoop,
Yeah.
okay, that's literally where a huge contingent of my family lived.
Right.
I mean, that was their life.
Yeah.
They lived on those streets.
Yep.
In South Philadelphia.
Oh boy.
I despise Philadelphia sports, but I did not have a rooting interest in a hockey team, so I am a Flyers fan.
Hey.
I took up the Flyers.
This decision just got better.
Yeah, I took
the tides have turned.
It's
Yes.
the only Philadelphia sports team that I can root for. But yeah, so for the last 10, 12 years, my cousins over there, they're obviously huge Flyers fans.
Yeah.
So yeah, Flyers are my team. Although I will tell you, I probably will gravitate towards the Seattle team.
Yeah, well,
Absolutely.
we all will.
Yeah.
And be rooting for them. I do like what happened in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if enough emphasis was put on how good that product was right out of the gate. I mean,
it wasn't right out of the gate. There was an emphasis.
but they were. I mean, they were fantastic.
Well, they were.
Yeah.
It took till the end of their first season for people to really say,
That's ridiculous.
okay, we
to
were
me.
wrong.
No other sport in the world could have a expansion draft and right out of the gate be as dominant. I don't know that that's ever happened in another sport.
Yep.
I mean, that there can't be enough said about that. So
Yep.
because they did that, I was like, man, these guys are kind of really cool too. So,
Yeah.
I kind of float around. I tend to root for guys. I'm a Mariners fan forever. I'm not a Seahawk fan at all.
Sweet.
So I stay with the Mariners, but like in football, I follow Drew Bledsoe. Because he played with my godfather at WSU. I saw his home football games.
He was a Walla Walla kid.
He was from Walla Walla, so
Yeah.
he was a local guy somewhat. Saw him play in college, so I followed him to New England. When he went to Buffalo, I rooted for Buffalo. When he went to Dallas and eventually retired there, I kind of stayed with Dallas because I didn't have anything else to do. So, but right now I'm a Flyers fan.
I love it.
With the cousins, and
I love it.
And I kind of like the direction they're going. Finally, it looks like they're gonna put a product out there because it's been insufferable for since I've been a fan. So you could probably blame me. Really,
dude? I've been a fan since '97 of the Flyers, and it's been there's always next year.
Yeah,
every fucking year. The last time they won a cup was I was negative 4 years old.
Yeah, sure. Right.
So
right.
Yeah, you motherfucker. You've seen the Red Wings raise how many?
A couple.
At this point.
So when my son Jackson was playing hockey, he kind of, which all the kids did because they were really good, he gravitated towards the Blackhawks.
Oh.
And he's got a Blackhawks hat, and I almost wore it today just specifically to piss Corey off.
You know what's funny, dude, is I grew up on, the same, we grew up in
Podunk.
Yeah, and so media tie into hockey is a big part of how my fandom became, you know, and fucking Clark Griswold is wearing a Blackhawks jersey.
That's awesome.
Wayne and Girth are wearing Blackhawks jerseys. And I wanted to like the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, it's Scott Steele's fault.
Way to go, Buns.
Buns is a Flyers fan, isn't he?
No, Buns is a Blackhawk.
Oh.
And
Philly Rob.
Philly Rob.
Well,
That's
right.
He's from Philly.
Yeah.
So so I liked growing up as far as other sports went. When I was a kid, it was the era of the Bash Brothers, so I was an Oakland A's fan. But when Frank Thomas came out, I became a fucking White Sox fan.
Yeah.
I've showed you guys. I don't know if I showed Aaron. I know I've showed you the picture of. I was an OG A's back 88, 87, 88. Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco.
Yeah.
There's a picture of me and I don't know if you guys remember. It was the 80s. Being nice. Hot pink.
Yeah.
Striped and black spandex bicycle shorts.
Yeah, that was the
a Jose Canseco 40-40.
Yep.
T-shirt.
I had that T-shirt.
I did too.
And a backwards fitted A's cap that was
starter.
They didn't make regular sizes. No, it was one of the first new era
pre-starter.
First new era hats, like the on-field cap, but they made adult male sizes. They didn't make the size 6 and 7/8 like they do now.
Right.
So it was like floating on top of my head. But yeah, I was way OG A's like that.
The first fitted cap I ever got was an A's cap, and I think that may be like how the horrible green and orange affinity that I have started because of the green and yellow.
Green and
That's
yellow,
awesome.
yeah.
Because I had a green A's hat with a yellow bill, and I wore that shit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a weird reminiscent episode.
Yeah.
But
Hey, why not?
Yeah.
It's a new beginning.
It is. So talking about that, but I became, the Americans came to town, and I thought, well, I need a fucking horse in the race for
the NHL.
Professional hockey. And I would have gravitated towards the Blackhawks probably, but Uncle Joey,
Oh, Uncle Joe.
Dave Coulier
Yeah.
had a Red Wings jersey hanging in on a mannequin.
Cut it out.
Yeah. And I
Yep.
just was like, okay, that's the team I'm going to root for.
Yeah. Well, he often wore.
Yeah.
He wore that.
He wore that Red Wings jersey
too,
all the
yeah.
time. And,
Well,
I got
weren't
that.
they pretty dominant too? Didn't they win a couple cups
Mid-
right
90s.
around that era?
Well, this was the early 80s.
Okay,
Or the
Late
mid
80s,
80s. Late
late
80s.
Oh,
Yeah.
so they sucked at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Detroit
Yeah.
was terrible
Yeah.
at that point.
Yes.
And then I felt good because I chose a team that nobody else I
Yeah.
knew liked.
Yeah.
And then the 90s came.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Then the Russian 5 came,
exactly,
domination.
dude.
and everything changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But I was, at that point, then Donnie's wife, Amanda, and her sister moved from Michigan
Yep.
to Findlay, and they were Red Wings fans.
She still rocks that jersey
Oh,
a lot
fuck
of
yeah,
times
dude.
at the
Hell yeah.
games.
But, well, then I had partners in crime.
Mhm.
Like, we were
We got a crew.
Yeah, we were the Red Wings fans, and so like, John was a Flyers fan. I'm trying to remember the guy.
Lindros. He was
Yeah,
a
yeah,
huge Eric
Lindros.
Lindros.
That's what
Eric
got me
Lindros.
into
Yeah.
the Flyers
Yeah.
was Eric Lindros.
Yep.
Yeah.
And kind of me too around that era too. My dad and I also today is his birthday. Would have been his 69th birthday. So
Mm.
That's a good one.
Happy birthday, pops! Up in heaven or wherever you are. If you're a flower or a dog or something, I have no idea. Whatever
Yeah.
your affiliation is, but we collect a lot of sports cards. Like
Yeah.
we were hardcore card shows
Yep. Yep.
and we collected, hockey cards and stuff like that. And that was right in the era where Lindros was like the man. If you
Yeah.
had the Eric Lindros, like rookie card, that was the equivalent of the King Griffey Jr.,
Yep.
89 upper deck card or
Yep.
whatever. So Lindros and I just drew that way, and I was like, hey, I got family over there. So
I still go back and I'll watch YouTube videos of Lindros because it's so incredible that somebody that big could skate that
Holy
fast,
shit! Right?
hit that hard,
Mhm.
and have that good of hands all at the same time. If that guy would not have been concussion prone, very easily could have gone down top 3. Easily.
disappointing too, in the same vein as like maybe like a Bo Jackson, where
Exactly.
Yeah.
how amazing would he have been if he had avoided that devastating injury? Same with Lindros. If he
Yep.
could have just
The
had
concussions, man.
that 10, 12, 15-year career, he probably would be in the top 10
He would
of
be-
all-time hockey players.
He would be
Absolutely.
mentioned in the same breath
Absolutely.
with Gordie Howe.
And he's still mentioned as an honorable mention in that top 10. I mean, anytime you see a top list, he's still there.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
the fact that he had his career cut short and all the drama and all the shit that he had to deal with, he's still, everybody's like, that guy was dominant.
Yeah.
You were scared of Lindros on the ice, man. Because you knew he was either going to hit you or score on you. There's nothing you could do. And then that line he was on, the Legion of Doom, him and LeClaire
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Langkow, who's a
Yep.
former American.
Yep.
Langkow for a while, and then Mark Recchi joined that. I mean, God, they were so good.
They
But
were.
could never fucking
Couldn't
win a
put it
cup,
together.
dude.
Yep.
Because they come up against the 97 Red Wings.
Yeah.
Everybody picked the Flyers from day. Red
Yep.
Wings weren't even supposed to be there.
Nope.
Everybody picked Philly, and what did Detroit do? They swept them in the Cup Finals. man.
even supposed to be here today.
Dude, that
That was when it really
As-
started. Well, did Detroit win it the year before that? I don't remember.
96? No.
No, 96 was Colorado.
Yeah.
But the 97 Detroit won, and that's when it really started. That dynasty
Yeah.
for the Red Wings started
And
there. Thanks,
so-
Philly.
And that was, dude, like, that was I akin to I make that association to not hating the Seahawks fans. Okay?
Okay.
And I hate football.
Yeah,
I can't fucking stand it. But I like football movies a lot.
I do too.
Anyway, when this team that is languished in mediocrity a lot,
Talking about the Seahawks
the
here.
I was talking but also like the late '80s Red Wings,
Okay.
gets this sudden surge where all the alchemical points come together
Yeah.
and it really starts to boil.
Yeah.
Like, I get that fever. Like, I get that being sucked into it. So,
Sure.
like, when the whole 12th man thing came, I was working in the casino business, and I loathe football. I fucking wanted to hit everyone all the time. I was like, shut the fuck up. I don't
Yeah.
care. Like, But at the same time, I'll eat some Skittles. I like Beast Mode.
Yeah.
Whatever. Cool.
I love that guy.
Yeah, dude. And
I'm with you. I don't have a problem with the Seahawks as an organization. I have a problem with the Seahawks fans.
well,
That's
it's
mostly my issue too.
yeah. So my problem with fans is Pittsburgh. And it
just
is
every sport.
Every
Yes.
fucking sport.
Yep.
Pittsburgh sports fans.
Dude, I lived an hour and a half from Pittsburgh. I know exactly
Not
what you mean, man.
all, because I have some friends that are Pittsburgh fans.
Sure.
But overall, they are the Slayer fans.
Nope,
Yeah.
all of them. It's all of them, dude.
Or the juggalos of the sports world. Oh my God.
Dude, I was in Pittsburgh the day the Steelers won their 6th Super Bowl. I was at the Pittsburgh Zoo that day, and oh my fucking God. It
Insufferable.
was so bad. And my kid, Ryan, who was he was 8
Yeah.
or 9 at the time, wanted to start talking shit to all these Pittsburgh fans. We were in this cafe, and all of them are wearing their jerseys, and he wants to start. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It's like that scene in Mighty Ducks where he goes to say something to the ref. He's like,
Yeah.
That's exactly how it was. But those fans, man. And my mom's a Pittsburgh fan.
Dude,
Ugh.
but that boils over to literally every sport.
Sure.
I fucking
Yeah.
hate the Pittsburgh Pirates. I fucking hate the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Steelers.
And I fucking loathe the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
And I hate football. The amount of much hatred I have for football is quadrupled for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The amount of much that you can't even string that sentence together.
Fucking A! I was flustered. Just my fucking blood pressure was up. That's how mad I am just thinking about how much I hate them.
That's awesome.
I hate the fact that team's got, 5 Stanley Cups, man.
I know, dude.
Fucking hate it, dude. But,
Anyway. But, okay, so let's back off the hate. And
yeah, let's talk love.
Yeah, let's talk some love. So again, coming back and growing up, and having that, the expansion team that happened in our era was San Jose.
Yep.
And when the Sharks came, man, I was like, well, that's the closest team to me.
Pretty much.
That's not Vancouver.
That's not Vancouver.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so I've always been a Red Wings fan, but I'm willing to root for almost anybody.
Sure.
I don't have, unless you're playing the Red Wings, I will root for lots of teams. I like lots of teams.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I remember I had that was the starter jacket I had.
The Sharks.
I had a San Jose Sharks
Nice.
starter coat.
Nice.
And it was in the era of, getting beat up and getting your coat and your fucking British Knights taken.
Absolutely.
Oh, God.
And I was rocking British Knights and in a fucking big oversized San Jose Sharks starter jacket.
Nice.
And I thought I was a badass. Oh, and I had a duffel bag. I had a Sharks duffel bag that looked like Zumba pants.
Nice.
Like the tiger print,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So that was the era I, again, being a WSU Cougar football fan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Long suffering. May we someday win the Rose Bowl. Yeah, stop gritting your teeth. I know.
No. I've always felt bad for not being able to root with you guys.
So Jason Hansen, probably a Hall of Fame NFL kicker. Eventually, he just retired a few years ago. Went to Detroit. So
Okay.
the starter jacket era. I was a Detroit Lions.
Yeah,
fan
you had a
back
Lions
then.
one.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I had
Yeah.
a Detroit Lions starter jacket back then. But my buddy Chris, who's that I grew up with since third grade, second grade, who's now my next door neighbor.
Yeah.
He's a Sharks fan. He had the Sharks jacket, starter
awesome.
jacket,
Yeah.
and he still roots for the Sharks. So the last couple years, we've been watching hockey together, come playoff time and stuff. So I've been probably paying attention to the Sharks more than the Flyers because they're freaking garbage. But
Yeah.
so I've been rooting for the Sharks a little bit too.
Man, I was hoping for the Sharks this year.
I really
Yeah.
was,
So
too.
much.
The
Yeah,
only
me
reason
too.
I even went with the pick with St. Louis, Missouri's my home state. But when Ole brought it up, I was like, that'd be an interesting storyline. And then, of course, they go all the way.
And he was right.
I mean,
and they never won it, right?
that was their first
Yeah,
one.
so
51
that's pretty
year-
fantastic.
The year the Flyers came into the league was the same year St. Louis was part of that expansion.
That's pretty fan.
So-
I like stories like that too.
51 yeah.
When my rooting interests are out, I kind of root for the underdog or the guy that doesn't win it every year.
Yeah.
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 I'm
You know, I don't know if you listened to that episode or heard that episode, but I was literally downstairs, and Oli was in the cafe, and I was like, oh yeah, we're getting ready to go do the podcast. I was like, who do you think's got it this year? And he's like, oh well, because he's a Capitals guy,
player development with the Caps, yeah.
And I was like, do you think you guys got a shot? And he was like, yeah, but I honestly think it's St. Louis.
Wow.
Sure. And this was
pre-playoffs. This was around the end of the regular season.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to think that's his job. Like, he knows.
Well, sure.
He's got a file card on every single player on every single team.
But
so
everybody,
he knows the talent.
I mentioned that to a few pretty diehard hockey fans, and they were like, "St. Louis, really?
Yeah.
Why? They were the worst team in the literally." The basement on January 3rd. They were the worst team in the league. January 3rd.
That's crazy.
And then they
man.
won the
Just
fucking
made it
cup.
They won the fucking cup, dude.
Dude, it was glorious. It was really, really cool.
It was.
But I came up here, and I remember I was sitting down, and I was like, Kyle and Aaron were sitting here, and I was like, Oli said St. Louis. And we were all like, oh. And then we started paying attention to it, and fuck, what a ride.
What did we say, though? Jordan Biddington, who I knew very little about at that point.
Holy fuck.
Kyle's like, that kid's on fire. And think about Game 7 in Boston. That kid stole that. Well, he didn't steal it. That was a full team effort, but made the timely saves when he had to. It was fun.
Biddington blew my mind
he
that
did
entire playoff run.
He's cool as ice,
Yeah.
man. Holy
So
shit.
it only I mean, momentum is everything in sports.
Absolutely.
So you just catch it at the right time, and everything kind of falls in line. I mean,
Flyers did it back in 2010. They got into the playoffs the last game of the regular season on a shootout goal by Danny Briere. It was either Gagne or Briere. And then they went all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals and lost in 6 to the fucking Blackhawks, which that's what started. Holy shit, that's what started the Blackhawks dynasty.
Yeah.
And we're full circle.
How many did they win in that run?
3. 2 or 3. 3, because the Kings won 2, Blackhawks won 3. Yeah. It was Kings and Blackhawks there for a while.
That's another one, dude. I'll admit I get swept up in when the Kings are doing good.
You like it?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I
don't have a problem with L.A. L.A. is Philly West. To me.
Around the time the Americans came, around the time that I got introduced to hockey, was the time that Gretzky came to the Kings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so I liked that too.
That's true, because that trade happened in 89, if I remember right. It's
been
30 years. So, 89 is when that trade happened.
And so, that's when I was paying attention. I mean, I was a Red Wings fan still, but the great one was playing for LA.
Yeah.
And since then, I mean, half the, I follow a great deal of nerdy people. Hockey is, next to baseball, the nerdiest sport.
Oh, absolutely.
Which hockey players aren't typically. They're pretty jockey dudes most of the time. But nerds follow hockey.
I have a theory about that, because the fans of hockey know that they will never be good enough to play hockey.
Yeah.
So they just accept it. You think about baseball, oh, I could do that. Football, oh, I could do that. Basketball, fuck yeah, I could do that. You look at hockey players, you're like, nope. So I'm just going to be myself. I'm not even going to try to be a jock.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Wear that nerd flag, dude. I'm serious.
That's a really interesting, I'd never thought of it that way.
Well, just a couple weeks ago that hit me.
And it goes back, to kind of what I said earlier.
You're a fan.
It's cerebral, too. So there's a cerebral element to hockey that it's not just guys, big guys bashing into each other to try to take a brown leather football across the, what I mean? Not that there isn't, again, I'm not disparaging other sports. I'm just trying to assimilate. So I think, back to the nerd culture and stuff like that, those guys are smarter than me even. I mean, so they understand what the moving parts of the whole thing.
Russ Rankin put it best when I interviewed him last year when he was here, because I said, what got you into hockey? He was like, the graceful violence of the sport.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a symphony.
Yeah.
It's a symphony chess.
Yep.
Basically, I mean, it's very interesting.
But
with the car accident mixed in,
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Where a symphony and chess, it's both of those played on amphetamines.
Yeah, sure.
It's like if Lemmy was doing it, right?
I love that.
I'm gonna drop some Ace of Spades in right there.
Yeah,
dude. So I mean, when it comes down to it, it's a fast-paced game.
Yeah.
And I think that the gracefulness and the cerebralness gets lost on the super casual person, on the uninitiated.
Yeah.
Because you don't realize what all is taking place.
Sure.
There's a lot of fucking moving parts. I mean, you're watching what is essentially a Rube Goldberg machine on speed. Like,
and also, I'm sorry they're not there yet. Does not translate to television.
no.
Hockey is
Much
a
better
sport,
now than what
right,
it's been.
much better now,
Yeah.
but it's still the difference between being there and seeing it on TV gives you an entire new perspective.
Absolutely.
We've said that since day one.
Another
Yeah.
sport that I follow pretty heavily, I am a NASCAR guy. When baseball was in the middle of the steroid thing, I
Yeah.
was like disgusted with what was happening, and it gave me the opportunity to check some other stuff out. And I'm sorry, it's way more than just turning left. There's
Yeah, I
so
know.
much engineering,
Sure.
and the team aspect of the pit crew is basically synchronized swimming. I mean, those guys all have to be so in tune with each other
Yep.
to get this car off the line in 10 seconds.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're going to lose 5 spots. NASCAR as well. Being at a NASCAR race in
That's
person,
a whole different ballgame.
it's
Sure.
entirely different than television.
Yeah.
So hockey in the same vein, like you gotta go. And-
Baseball's the same way.
yeah, baseball's tough. Baseball's so slow. I mean, it's just
It's a game of anticipation.
Absolutely.
That's all it is. And being at the park, you get the full experience.
Mhm.
And what I've seen lately, because I don't sit and watch a whole lot of baseball games on TV, but now I'm watching it and I'm like, holy fucking shit, I can't even see the game anymore because everything's covered with the strike box and
Yeah,
the
right.
trajectory of the pitch, and you
Sure.
don't even see what's going on
they're
anymore.
trying to make it interesting for
right.
people.
And that mistake is the same thing that ruined hockey's first shot at television. Is that
Are you talking
exact-
about the puck?
I'm talking about the puck.
The
Did I
stupid
hear-
flaming puck thing.
Oh, it was so dumb.
Yeah,
Did
I
I
know.
hear that they're talking about bringing that back for select games?
They better fucking
I
not.
feel like I heard that somewhere, and I just about shit my
Well,
pants.
I got to
dude. Like,
imagine it'd be maybe a little more subdued, maybe
Dude,
a little better than it was
terrible,
then.
though. Fuck you, Fox, man.
Yeah.
I get what you're trying to
Sure,
do, but it's
sure.
like, god damn, man. And the Canadians are just laughing at us
Oh,
to the
God,
bank.
dude.
People still bring that up, dude.
Yeah.
People still bring that up.
Well, it was such a black mark
They're-
on.
they're
No,
like,
no pun intended.
You guys took our heart and soul, the only thing that we could call our own up in the Great White North,
Yep.
Yeah.
and you fucked it up.
Yep.
Yep, that's exactly
Like that
it.
scene from Tommy Boy when he's talking about with the biscuit.
Yeah.
I love my pet. I hold him.
It's so true. I'm glad it didn't last long. I'm
Yeah.
glad it didn't.
Oh, God.
TV coverage is so much better now, but I do 100% agree with you because I didn't become a fan. I had seen plenty of hockey games as a kid. I didn't become a fan until I went to a live ECHL game, the Norfolk Admirals. And
Yeah.
that, I mean, seriously, within the first 5 minutes of that game, I'm like, all right, I'm fucking hooked.
Yeah.
Totally
Why, where can I go spend my money at to get shit for this team? When's the next game?
Yep.
I was hooked.
Yeah.
My dad, so that was the other thing. My dad's a big sports guy. Never really understood hockey a whole lot because he had never gone to a game. So he saw my fandom of the games, like, oh, that's cool, but never really got it. Well, when we moved out here and I started working with the team, you know, we had tickets to all the games and stuff. So I took him to a game and he was like, ooh, now I get it.
Yeah.
There's still some things I don't understand about it, but now I get it.
Dude, that's the experience for me
Yeah.
was exactly the same. My first hockey game, and I've told that story a bunch of times.
Yep.
I walked out of there just clamoring.
Yeah.
I need
like,
more.
yeah. And I remember Mom taking me to the team in the first season had a signing
Okay.
at the mall.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
It was at Penny's.
Yeah.
And I walked up to Ole like starstruck, like almost crying. Little kid, like, ah. And I had
Sign my stick.
I had the little wooden goalie American stick,
Yeah.
I still have it. It's,
Awesome.
with Stu's on there and Ole's on there and Spinner and all the,
Yeah.
the first team. And I handed that over and I was just shaking and he signed it. And the funny thing is I'd met him tons of times before that. I don't know why I was so freaked out.
Yeah.
But,
it's a good point. I want to this year. Barry Puck's going to do some stuff to offer some opportunities for people to go to games that have never been. I want to encourage everyone, if you're a fan, and you've got people around you that are just like, I don't get this sport, fucking take them to a game.
Get them in the building.
Yeah, just get them in the building. And I'm not saying everybody's going to fall in love with it right away. That's not my point. But you see it live, take them to it. Take them to an AM Spokane game. So they'll get it.
I have a question that's almost specifically towards our generation and then those that followed. How much do you think the impact of hockey video games has propelled the sport?
I think it's gotten a lot better. You think back, a lot of people that are our age, we talk about NHL 94.
Yeah.
A lot of people became fans of the sport because of NHL 94.
Sure.
And now what EA is doing is just incredible with the games.
Yeah.
So my first indoctrination was ice hockey.
Yeah.
On 8-bit Nintendo.
Yep.
But then Blades of Steel came out.
Yes.
And that was a game changer, dude.
Yep.
And the football games still suck. I mean, Tech Mobile, obviously.
Right.
But
yeah.
As far as sports games go, the hockey games have always been the funnest to play.
Yep.
Bar none.
Yep.
And now, my son, he gets the newer ones and stuff, and it's like, holy crap, I'm watching a hockey game. Legit watching a real hockey game. But Blades of Steel was fun. So 1980, I want to say 1986, our school, I don't know what it was even for, but for some reason we had a fun day, I'll call it a field trip at Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese at that point still had the giant room.
Yep.
With the puppets.
Yeah.
Okay, then they had some of the rides or whatever, the ticket games.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was mostly an arcade.
And then there was a giant room full of quarter stand-up arcade machines.
Yep.
They had an original 1983 Chex bubble hockey machine.
Yeah.
That's not the one in your basement now, is it?
No.
Okay.
I'm getting there. An 83 Chex, USA, USSR, Miracle on Ice edition. Fell in love. Absolutely fell in love. It probably wasn't 83 then because Miracle on Ice was 84, right?
Yeah.
Or
No, it was
Miracle on Ice was
1980. I'm sorry, 1984.
Yeah.
So it was probably 83. Whatever the first USA, USSR. Fell in love with it. Everyone, our entire school was huddled around the kids that were playing it. No one was anywhere else. We were all fascinated with this machine. And I was like, okay, hockey's still amazing. This is the greatest arcade game of all time.
Yeah.
So cut to the rest of my life. Someday I'm going to have one. About 4 years ago, I finally pulled the trigger. I ordered one from Ice in Buffalo, New York. They still make these things in the United States.
Yes, they do.
I ordered a Miracle on Ice edition, USA versus USSR, and it's in my basement. So I'm going to put a call out because I've been trying to get a tournament together.
Boom.
But I can't get anybody to play. So if anybody's listening and you're interested in a bubble hockey tournament,
I'm down.
I think, this fall,
Yeah.
we'll all show up to my house, we'll barbecue, and we'll set up a bracket, and we'll tournament down.
Yes. I know people around here are playing because I've seen, I believe, Level Up.
They finally got one.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of people hovering around that. Of
Although,
course, how long is it going to be called Level Up? Anyway.
Yeah, I heard about that. But
Yeah.
I was there, and it needs some severe maintenance.
Oh,
That
really?
machine needs some maintenance. It's loose, and so I can
okay.
help them. If you know anybody at Level Up, I know how to repair those things.
Cool.
So.
Oh, nice.
Look at this guy.
But
I love it, dude.
well,
I'm so happy.
yeah. So
Hockey's here, man.
it's coming.
I was at the rink this weekend.
Yeah, I saw your picture, and
Regale us.
Oh, God.
Because you've been frothing to talk about some of these new kids.
I told you real quick before you start. I saw your picture, and I obviously know they scrunched everybody in the center ice. There was probably nobody in the
Oh, you can sit wherever you want.
Right,
But most people, because that's the side you come into
Sure,
the building.
sure.
Yeah, and there was several people there.
I was amazed by, I mean, I would say there was at least, 100, 150 people?
There was probably 200-ish on that side, but then you didn't see. There was
Right,
still
okay,
people
so that's
right with
even,
me.
that's amazing, dude.
There was people that sit in their season ticket seats on the ends. I mean, there was probably 300-400, maybe 5.
I think that's awesome for a scrimmage.
Dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Blue white's a little bit more than that's where the all the 15 and 16-year-olds play against each other, so it's kind of the culmination. But we were at a scrimmage Thursday night, the red and white game.
Yeah.
And now that one had more people because it was a season ticket pickup. So there was a lot of people grabbing their
Right.
tickets, and then for that, and there were several hundred people
That's
there as
awesome,
well,
man.
which excited me. I don't know how many people wanted to see the new video boards, which I love what they're doing right now because they're up, but you're not really seeing anything new on them.
Right.
That's coming. But it was really cool, dude. But I tell you what, the new ice plant, that building is fucking cold.
That's awesome.
I mean, I walked in, and Anya and I both were like, I'm cold. I never get cold in the rink in August, ever.
Sure.
Yeah.
And we both wanted to put hoodies on. And that's another thing, too. I toured the new ice plant this past week. It's already set up. Literally, you flip a switch, and rink number 3 is ready to go.
That's insane.
Once Kennewick builds rink number 3. So nice. But thank you, City of Kennewick, for putting your money where your mouth is, because they've done a lot this year. It's going to be a really cool fan experience this year for everybody.
Cool.
I hate that we have to wait till October 5th for the full experience. But anyway, there were a lot of kids that really impressed me this week, and I have to keep reminding myself they're 15, 16. A couple of the kids out there were 17, 18-year-olds. There's some good talent coming through. And I'm always starstruck looking up in the corner and seeing Kelly Buckberger sitting up there. I'm like, this guy was the captain of the Edmonton Oilers. He's won Stanley Cups with Gretzky and Mess. Now he's the coach of the Americans.
That's
and
awesome.
you know, the players have had nothing but good things to say about him, regardless of how you think of him as a breeding dog.
I know.
His name's Kelly Buckberger.
I can't.
I know. And you remember when we had Parker on?
Yeah.
And I asked the question, does Kelly know about that? And he never said yes or no, but he just laughed. He's like, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It's like unspoken.
It's hilarious.
Dude, I can't not hear it every fucking time.
There's a kid, Tyson Greenway. He was 16-year-old. We drafted him 2018. Looked really good. He was on a line with a kid, Booker Daniel, I think was his name, who's also a 16-year-old. They had some great chemistry. Our first-round pick last year, Mark, I always say LaJoy is his last name, but it's something.
Lawa.
Yeah, there we go. Whose dad was actually the coach of the Kamloops Blazers last year. But he looked really good. Big kid, skates hard, but joins the rush as a defenseman.
Nice.
Like, really, really joins the rush as a defenseman.
I really want to line with Booker Daniel, and I'm just going to refer to them as Booker D and the MGs.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Tyson Greenway is related
T-shirt.
somehow to Jordan Greenway. Oh, if it happens, that'd be a good T-shirt.
Yeah.
Jordan Greenway plays for the Minnesota Wild, so there's some stuff there. Ams fans, if you're listening, yes, there was a Coughlin on the team. That's Dylan's cousin. I think he's 16, so he's eligible this year. I forget what
first
the
name.
Ben Coughlin.
Ben Coughlin.
Yep, and he was wearing number 10 out there. Just like his
Nice.
cousin.
Solid.
There's a rule in the WHL, and I don't remember what it is, but I think a team can only carry 2 or 3 rookies. The same with like the 20-year-olds. You can only have 3 20-year-olds,
Right,
which they have
limited.
5 right now. And I'm looking at the roster like, who are you going to get rid of? But yeah, I think it's only 2 rookies you can carry, 2 16-year-olds.
We can only have 2 20-year-olds?
3.
3?
And we have 5. One's Beck
Warm, who's going to stay.
One's Kyle Olson, who's now the captain.
So, okay.
Christoph Rabik, who was a
So there's 3 other
amazing
guys fighting for one position,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, and 2 of them are 20-year-old defensemen. And Bob Loves is 20-year-old defenseman.
Yeah.
So does Rabik go? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We'll see.
Do those guys have any value in the trade market, or teams know that they're going to be cut and available?
So the one thing about it, with the 20-year-olds, it always gets into a weird situation of a lot of times they just get released
Right.
right before, because they can carry them up until, I think, opening night is how it works. So you can carry these kids all the way up through preseason, opening night sort of thing. Now, if one of them gets injured, you can actually have 4 20-year-olds because one of them's on IR.
Sure.
We've had that situation happen before. But I've seen where it's kind of hard to trade a 20-year-old.
Sure.
So you release them, and somebody will pick them up at some point, or they'll go back and play like BCHL level
Yeah.
hockey. It's still junior A. Well, what is that called? Yeah, it's junior A. It's like where the Humboldt Broncos play, stuff like that. It's always weird with the 20-year-olds. A couple years ago, when like Razzie and Geeky and Valimaki, all those guys were playing, we had 10 19-year-olds that season.
Right.
So we would have had 10 20-year-olds. Now, a lot of them went to the NHL.
Sure.
Razzie and Valimaki went. A couple of them moved on. Geeky went to the AHL. That's the other hard part, too, is as a 20-year-old, if you've been drafted, you can play in the AHL. But if you're like a 19-year-old and you've been drafted, you either have to play junior or they have to keep you in the NHL. They can't send you to the AHL.
Right.
So you get a lot of that sort of thing happening.
Which is
It's really
rule.
weird. Yeah.
It is something with the agreement between the CHL and the NHL.
Yeah.
I don't know but that's what happened to Razzie last year. Remember, we were doing Razzie Watch forever because he was either going with the Red Wings. Yeah, you know. He's either going with the Red Wings or he was coming back to the Americans.
Yeah.
And there was even talk in March that he could have come back to the Americans.
Well, we had that with Brandon 2 years before that.
Carlo,
yeah.
there was a lot of uncertainty because he went straight to the NHL at 19.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's going to be interesting. There was a kid named Mason Dunsford in goal who really impressed me. He's a 16-year-old. I'm trying to think who else. There was a few out there. Like, what the hell are you doing? But I think the future is going to be fun. It's going to be another one of those could surprise you years, but it's going to be a lot of young kids this year. I love that Olsen is the captain.
Yeah.
I love that kid. I said last year if he's back, I think he's going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder too.
So where do you think we're at? Do you think it's going to be a building year?
I think it's the fact that the pipeline is full sort of year. So we're not looking for the pieces. The pieces are starting to develop.
Mm-hmm.
Fans need to be patient, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I still think they'll make the playoffs just because, how many teams are there?
Right.
There's 12 teams or 10 teams in the Western Conference, and 8 of them make the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah,
So, I think they'll make the playoffs. You never know though with Beck, with Warm, the way he played last year. We're back to like, holy shit, we've got a top goalie here.
Yeah.
And so
that's what we do.
That's a good piece.
That's what we do. Yeah.
That's a good piece to build around, really. I mean,
Well, and that's what the Americans have done for 30 years.
We breed goalies. No, now it's Everett though. I mean, holy shit,
Woo.
Everett. Carter Hart.
I'm getting a Silvertips jersey this year.
Yeah, I'm at least going to get a hat. I've got a couple of their pucks up in my case there. I love Everett. We've said that. I said that last episode. I love what Everett has done in the last 15 years.
Total side note, I did want to update your fan base.
Okay.
Our fan base now. I chimed in when I was catching up on the episodes. The Winter Classic will be held at the Cotton Bowl.
Yes.
In Dallas, which is a legendary stadium.
Been there.
So it should be pretty fun. Open air. It's
It'll be
total
awesome.
open air.
I love it. I cannot wait for the Road to the Stanley Cup series this year. Just watching Nashville and Dallas getting ready for this. You talk about liking. I like Dallas a lot.
Yeah,
liking every team. I love Dallas.
Yeah. We're Minnesota Wild fans.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot too.
Hockey. I've said this. Hockey's the one sport. It doesn't matter who's playing. I can sit down and watch the game.
Sure.
And congrats too. I thought about this because of the Nashville thing. PK and Lindsey Vonn got engaged this week.
Oh, so I was gonna
right
I was gonna mention that.
Yeah, so they're going to be the next super couple. I did real quick because we've kind of been off the rails with a official chirp of the week.
Oh,
so I have one. If I would actually,
Kid Cash is getting an honorable mention.
Oh, cat. Well, we talked about that.
Hey, Nolan! Hey, it's Dollar Dogs up there. Go get a hot dog. You're a fat fuck. Yeah?
Yeah, that's our favorite chirp from last week. Dude, I'll have to show you the full clip of that exchange. It was
amazing.
awesome. I don't know if you guys heard. People listening probably heard, but Evgeny Kuznetsov this week was suspended by the IIHF.
Congratulations.
Oh,
on
I saw
nailing
cocaine.
I know I
that.
said it. Yeah.
Cocaine? Yeah, I saw that.
Where this all started was back in probably May or June. There was a picture of him on Instagram, and he's on his phone, and at the corner of the frame, there looked like what was 2 lines of cocaine on the table in front of him.
What a dumb.
And everybody was like, what the fuck? He's like, I have never put that in my body, ever. I don't do that stuff. Well, this week, the IIHF said, actually, you do. We caught you for it, so you're suspended for 4 years from international play.
That is insane. Like that you would risk your career.
I know.
From
what I hear, though, cocaine's quite the issue in the NHL.
Well,
it's not a banned substance. Cocaine is not a ban. So the reason he got banned, or the 4-year ban, is because the IAHF considers it a performance-enhancing drug.
Sure.
The NHL just considers it a drug, and if you get popped for it, they say go get treatment.
Right.
That's what the NHL does. You don't get suspended for it. Same way with marijuana. I mean, all that stuff. None of that gets you in trouble.
Well, weed is not a performance.
Well, no. And I totally agree. You want to try to play high, have fun. But my thing is, it's different rules because everybody's like, well, what are the Caps going to do with them? Well, under the agreement, there's really not a whole lot. He's going to treatment on his own,
right?
All that kind of stuff.
He just can't do like Olympics or anything
he's
international.
Russian, so that's huge.
Yeah,
dude,
big
to
time
not be
for
able
them.
to play.
But I'm just thinking it's not 1989. Like, are people really still doing cocaine?
Yes.
Is that even like?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I thought that was like way passe.
It's made a huge comeback. Cocaine and heroin. Well, heroin was big, and then,
I mean,
fentanyl kind of took over.
Right.
that.
I mean, we know the
chirp though, and I don't remember who posted this, but it was so good. It said, "So now when I'm at the rink, do I order a hot dog and a Coke, or do I order a Kessel and a Kuznetsov?"
Oh,
and it was so good, dude. I was like, "All right, Kessel and Kuznetsov from now on." So
yes,
that was the chirp. There was actually quite a few
another
chirps
T-shirt.
this week. Yeah,
that's a great
Ketzel
one.
It was awesome.
Kuznetsov with a picture of a Coca-Cola and a hot dog.
Yep. So that was a good chirp this week.
I'm so excited for this season.
For real.
Yeah.
I got the tickets, man. The season tickets, and we're going to be doing a lot of filming in the next couple of weeks. I mean, hockey's here. That's the thing. I was sitting there, and Anya's on her phone. She came out with me to support me. She's not the biggest hockey fan. She was a little bored, but I'm sitting there. Oh, did you see what Greenway did? Did you see? And she's on her phone like, what? Are you talking to me right now? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
It was fun. Preseason starts this weekend in Everett for their tournament. And then the following weekend, they'll be back in town for 3 games here for the Red Lion tournament, which everybody should come check that out. They play Seattle, Portland, and Spokane in those 3 games.
When does NHL start up?
NHL, I believe training camp starts around the 15th or the 20th of September. And then the first NHL game is October 2nd.
I was going to say they're starting this year before the WHL.
Well, no. The WHL still starts earlier. So I believe the Americans' first regular season game is the 20th of September, but it's in Everett. They're on the road for a couple of weeks.
Gotcha. I just must have thought like the 5th is the first game.
The home opener.
Okay. That's right. I thought that was the opener of the season.
I think they will have already played like 5 games
That's
on the
crazy,
road before
man.
they play
That's
here.
A crazy schedule.
So, NHL's coming soon. I mean, Kyle's down there. They're putting in ice this week. I saw Anaheim's got their ice back in already. Yep. So it's going to be good. And some faces in some different places. I saw Pat Maroon signed a 1-year deal with the Tampa Bay Lightning, who Maroon was like, he's from St. Louis. He scored the overtime goal, I believe it was against San Jose or Dallas in that series to move them on.
Move them up, yeah.
Now he's in Tampa. So the it's a business
hey.
mentality sticks. So anyway. Any parting words?
Oh, are we there already?
We got a couple minutes.
Oh, wow. Oh,
anything
man.
you guys are really excited for this year?
Hockey.
Derek, maybe to get back into it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, with the family, we always enjoy going to games.
Does your kid still play?
No, he's 7th. He's going in the 7th grade this year. I mean, as you know, hockey is another sport where literally you age out.
Yeah,
really fast.
Unless you are intending to go.
Unless you think you're going pro by the time you're 13.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you're done. You're bored with it.
And why spend the money on it at that point?
Well, and he had fun with it. It was really rec for him. He was good. He was average. He was average player, but you age out pretty fast, and it just after five years of youth hockey, it just wasn't fun anymore for him, and he wanted to move on.
Sure.
So yeah, we're out of it, but he loves watching the game, and we love as a family going to the games. We make 4 or 5 a year.
Cool.
I wish we could make more, but time constraints,
Sure.
life.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, it's gonna be fun, man. I'm definitely excited to dive a little bit deeper. But this will be fun.
Cool.
Thanks for having me in.
Yeah, thanks for being a part of it.
Yeah, man.
What about you? You're just excited for the game.
Well, I'm excited for the game. I'm excited for our focus on following women's hockey again.
Yeah.
Which is something I don't want to say dabbled with.
No, we definitely had full intention, and the intention's still there. Dan and I have still been talking. We still want to have him involved. I actually headed over to the NWHL to Seattle website this morning.
Yeah.
Kind of the grassroots push for a women's professional team in Seattle. Nothing's really changed at this point.
Yeah. What do we, okay. Oh, sorry. I got.
Were you going to
derailed
ask
there.
about names and stuff like that?
Yep.
Because I was just going to mention that. They keep pushing it back. Now they're saying most likely All-Star Weekend 2020.
Jesus God.
Yeah, is when they're going to announce
Come
it.
on.
It was supposed to be June. Then it was late fall. It's now. But here's the one thing. I will say, if you're going to take that much time, I 100% believe they'll get it right.
It better
I'm
be good.
cranky now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fucking, come on.
But think about that, dude. I mean, that's pretty fun. All-Star Weekend, you got all the eyes on you.
Well, that's
It's not going to get swept under the rug like, oh, by the way, I heard they got a name. So that'll be cool. But everybody's just like, we want to start buying merch, man.
That's the thing. They're missing out on a huge opportunity to like sell $1 billion worth of merchandise before they even hit the ice.
They will, though. I mean, just what they did with the season ticket drive.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we get for being the preeminent Northwest hockey podcast.
Yes. Yes.
Plain and simple.
Absolutely. So, I'm trying to think any other news coming up. I don't know. Just keep an eye out for things. Hockey's here. Wherever you're listening to right now, get out to your fucking rinks, man.
Yep.
Just get out to your fucking rinks and watch some hockey.
What the Red Line tournament, are those like regular? What can the average person expect to pay for a ticket? Is it like a cheaper ticket than a regular season game?
That I don't know. If you want, go to amshockey.com. That would have the ticket prices. I believe they might be a couple bucks cheaper.
Cool.
Not a paid advertisement.
Not a paid advertisement at all. I'm trying to think though, and the thing about the tournament is it's broken up because there's the AMs play every night at 7. They're the featured game, but then there's hockey going on all day long.
Sure.
There's 2 or 3 games a day.
Do they play on the other rink too?
No,
Rink
it's only on the big one.
Called
It's only on, but they do like a noon game and then a 3 o'clock game and then a 7 o'clock game.
That's cool.
So, and I'm not sure if tickets get you in all day or if you have to buy a ticket per game. I'm not sure, but pick one. They play Spokane on Saturday, so that might be a good one. Spokane's going to be interesting this year too. They got a coach who just won the Chenoweth Cup 2 years ago with Swift Current. Is now the head coach in Spokane.
Oh, I don't know that I told you guys this. It's actually just that when you mentioned Swift Current, it made me think of it. When we were on vacation and we were at the Land of the Mouse, we would go out every night and watch the fireworks because we could see it from the balcony of the hotel.
Yeah.
And standing next to this lady, this older lady, she said something. I can't remember the way she said it, but she said something that was just inherently Canadian.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I looked over and she's like, she goes, said something, and her kid comes out rocking a Kamloops Blazers.
Oh, nice.
Solid.
And I was like, oh my God, you guys are WHL fans. And she was like, yeah, I follow the Blazers. And I was like, I'm from the Tri-Cities. She's like, the Americans. And I was like, And I was like, yeah. So I started talking to her, and we talked hockey through the whole fireworks show. I completely forgot to tell you this. It's so funny.
Cool.
But she had heard of Cascadia Hockey.
Really?
Yeah.
Random.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I was like,
Cascadia Hockey Podcast or the company in Canada called Cascadia Hockey?
Us.
Okay.
She had heard of the podcast.
Okay.
And she was like, I don't listen to podcasts. Like, she was in her 60s or something.
Yeah.
But she was like, I have heard of that.
Beautiful.
And I was like, well, check it out. We're reaching a little bit farther than we thought.
Let me tell you a quick story because you had the fun experience with the Canadian. The one Canadian I ran into this summer, I don't think I told you guys this story. I was at the lake house up in Idaho.
Did you get a letter from Keanu?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't. But no, we're sitting on the porch one morning, and our neighbors for the first couple of days there. Guy comes walking over and he's got a 6-pack under each hand with like one drink missing.
Yeah.
So he comes over and he's like, "Oh, I don't know if you guys are a fan, but we can't take these across the border." And I'm like, "Oh, Canadian." And I'm thinking, here we go. Can talk some hockey. Where are you guys from? Oh, we're up around, it's about 200 kilometers as the crow flies, like southeast Alberta or southwest Alberta. I was like, "Oh, cool, man." So who you root for? What do you mean? Hockey. Oh, I'm not a big hockey guy. Excuse me?
Well, he's probably out in the middle of the prairie.
Well,
like in the
a
middle
lot of
of
hockey
nowhere.
players come from the middle of the prairie,
Yeah.
but he starts going, "Oh, I used to played till I was about 18. Me and Jerome McGinley played. We grew up playing hockey together." No shit. Yeah, I followed Jerome. He had a pretty good career, didn't he? And the guy walked away, and then he apologized because like, if you guys don't like that beer, I'm really sorry. That's all we've got. You can just throw it. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. Just throw it away. It's fine. It's fine. But that was my run-in with a Canadian
That's
this summer.
rad.
It was one that didn't like hockey and grew up playing with Jerome McGinley.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well,
And apologized because we might not like the beer, which I think one of them was like Mike's Pink Lemonade or something.
Oh boy.
but still, okay, that's in mainstream society.
Yeah.
I'm a big fat white guy. I get, like, oh, fucking Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't fucking care.
Oh, how's your 7-layer nacho dip, bro?
Yeah.
It's got to be amazing.
Yeah, dude,
Or
like,
you're from Washington. Sucks it rains all the time.
Yep. I'm
Do you
like,
guys ever see the sunshine?
Yeah, right.
No, I get it. And I said the same thing to him. I said, us Americans, we all get this idea. I said, I've met quite a few Canadians that are like, when it comes to hockey.
Well, it's because it's ingrained in their DNA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just what they do.
Sure.
So yeah, he played for probably 15 years of his life.
And that's the thing. He said, I played till I was 18.
Right.
And then I just kind of lost interest after that. I don't really
That's
root
just
for
what you
anybody.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, he was from St. Albert. That's where he's originally from. Now he lives in Southwestern, but St. Albert's where Parker's from, Parker O'Coin.
Oh, yeah.
Just up outside of Calgary. And that's, I think, how the conversation started. He said about St. Albert. I said, "Oh, you're a Flames fan." He said, "Oh, I don't really follow hockey anymore."
Yeah.
And that's where it all went to shit for me because
Right.
I'm like, damn, what am I going to talk to this
Yeah,
guy
right.
about now?
Yeah.
Your cheap-ass beer? No.
Coulter Wall.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
that's been my experience with Canada this summer. Is I got Corey hooked on Coulter Wall, and I've been just
I got Songs of the Plains on vinyl.
which he's got a new album coming out. He's dropping a 7-inch in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
He's got a new album coming. So it's been my
He's still,
Canadian.
20 years old right now?
He's a young dude, man. Yeah.
Dude.
If that.
So that's my Canadian experience. That and a lot of bad Canadian
horror.
B horror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't meet any actual real Canadians this summer.
No.
I'm sorry, I don't have a cool story like
They do exist.
Yeah.
They are out there. So with that,
Yeah.
love you, Canada, and we're gonna start to wrap this episode up here.
Oh, yeah, dude. I love you, Canada. It just makes me think of, what's the name of that? It's a Meg Ryan movie where she's trying to immigrate to Canada. She's like, I want to be one of you. And then she makes the little maple leaf.
Oh my god.
I haven't seen it.
But
It's funny.
Edit that out.
now, fuck you.
No,
I'm going to
it's
talk
staying
about
in.
Meg Ryan.
Staying in.
You're a Sandra
Meg
Bullock
Ryan.
fan. I'm a Meg Ryan fan. Just get over it.
Oh, and on those words,
This is the worst argument that's ever taken place on this podcast.
it's the most Canadian argument ever.
We're just going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you all for listening. Get out to Buried Puck Threads via the social medias. The
BuriedPuck.com.
BuriedPuck.com.
Yep.
Get some shirts, get some stickers.
Thank
Help-
you, Adventures Underground, for the studio.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
That, Adventures Underground, 1391 George Washington Way, Richland, Washington. Come in and see us. Thank you so much for providing the studio that we record this podcast in.
Love it. And the air conditioning.
Oh, God. Beats the hell out of last summer.
Yeah.
Also, you want to make sure to support your local hockey team. Get out. The season is coming. Thank you all so much for listening. For Aaron Piper and Derek Schoenrock, my name is Corey Gaston, and we will see you next time. Ferda!
You'll get it. You'll get it.